Hello, welcome to the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. Today's topic, the healing power of appreciating food from the heart. I'm Deborah Keston, nutrition researcher and host of the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. And I'm on a mission to give you the science-backed weight loss wisdom you need to eat less and weigh less without dieting. In each episode, I'll translate cutting-edge weight loss research into actions you can take that can make a real difference in your weight and well-being. Let's get started. In today's episode of The Healing Secrets of Food Revealed, you'll discover the in-action insights you need to eat with gratitude, which is one of 7 pillars of my Whole Person Integrative Eating program for eating less and weighing less without dieting. In other words, research that behavioral scientist Larry Sherwitz and I did with more than 5,200 people revealed that cultivating the ability to appreciate food authentically and from the heart and to eat for pleasure with feel-good feelings is the antidote to overcoming what Larry and I identified as one of the new normal overeating styles that we call food fretting. Again, I repeat, food fretting is a new normal way of thinking about food and eating, and it is one of 7 new normal overeating styles Larry and I identified that, and it's statistically significant, is linked with overeating and gaining weight. And food fretting is how most of us have learned to relate to food and eating in the last 50 plus years. It is not how humankind related to food for millennia. Are you a food fretter? Here is what food fretting looks like. Do you see yourself in any of the following examples of food fretting? Example number 1 of food fretting. I was good today, you may think, when you've managed to avoid unhealthful foods, stick to your diet, undereat, or what you believe is the, quote, best and healthiest food, or what you think you should eat. Example number 2 of food fretting. When my food cravings become powerful and I eat foods that are, quote, bad, I feel so guilty, is typical self-think for many food fretters. Example number 3 of food fretting. She shouldn't eat that chocolate cake. Doesn't she have any willpower? You might think as you watch someone eat what she shouldn't. An obsession about food, anxiety about the best way to eat, counting calories, dieting, feeling gluttonous, bad, and guilty when you overeat. Food cravings, judging others about their food choices, feeling righteous when you eat what you think you should. The food fretting overeating style is a pattern of thoughts, feelings, and food-related actions that have one thing in common: obsessing about food and eating. These complex and dynamic elements of food fretting may be a key reason overeatings are often filled with mostly negative thoughts and feelings about food and eating and themselves. Then there's this. Food fretting think has become normal in today's food culture. In other words, if you think the food fretter's relationship to food eating, dieting, and weight loss is normal, you're right. In America, 75% of women have one or more of the 10 elements of food fretters, meaning that they have obsessive thoughts, feelings, or behaviors related to food or their bodies. 91% of college women have attempted to control their weight through dieting. 22% diet often or always, and half of 9 to 10-year-old girls are dieting. The goal of food fretters, though, isn't always weight loss. Rather, many simply have a preoccupation about the best way to eat, to the point of obsession. Elements of this new normal overeating style have become so common that the term orthorexia has been coined to describe it. The word comes from the Greek orthos, meaning correct or right, plus orexis, meaning appetite. The food fretting overeating style may include the concept of orthorexia, but it differs in that food fretting identifies a specific family of obsessive thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are linked to increased odds of overeating, overweight, and obesity. These thoughts, feelings, and behaviors include counting calories, feeling anxiety about the, in quotes, best way to eat, having food cravings, feeling gluttonous, bad, and guilty when overeating, dieting, judging others about what and how they eat, obsessing about food, and feeling righteous when you eat what you should. Here's the takeaway. All 10 food-fretting thoughts and behaviors Larry and I identified under the umbrella of obsessing about food are intimately interrelated with one another. For instance, if food fretters judge others about what they eat, they're also likely to feel bad when they themselves overeat, diet, have food cravings, and so on. The bottom line, the intricate network of food fretting elements is strongly related to overeating and weight gain, but if you reduce even a few food fretting thoughts and behaviors Larry and I identified, you're also likely to lessen other elements of the food fretting overeating style. And doing this helps lower your desire to overeat and increases your odds of weight loss. Here's the light at the end of the food fretting tunnel. My research on whole person integrative eating has revealed it's possible to reduce obsessing about food, ongoing dieting, and other food-fretting behaviors, and lessen odds of overeating and weight gain by replacing the new normal in your head, thought-filled relationship to food and eating with an appreciative, eating from your heart, nourishing connection to food and to the extraordinary experience of eating. I know this because research participants in our study on whole person integrative eating lessened their food fretting think and in turn ate less and lost weight by taking the time to replace an in-your-head food fretting relationship to food and eating with the pleasure-filled, nourishing, whole person integrative eating guideline to be grateful for food. Here's the whole person integrative eating antidote to the food fretting overeating style. Be grateful for food and its origins from the heart. In a moment, I'm going to tell you some of the health benefits of eating with gratitude, in addition to upping the odds of eating less and weighing less without dieting. But first, I want to share a profound thought for you to consider. It's a spiritual truth that, if you keep it in mind, may help you infuse meals with heartfelt gratitude. I'm sharing this insight because it has helped me personally cultivate an attitude of gratitude when I eat. Most of us are familiar with the phrase, food is fuel, the body is a machine. This thinking, equating the body with a machine and food with fuel, emerged 100 years ago in 1924 during the age of industrialization. It was during this time that chemist Wilbur Olin Atwater translated scientific discoveries into food is fuel, body is a machine, nutrition advice. Flash forward to today. Based on breakthrough scientific discoveries in the 21st century, we now know that food is much more than calories and energy, and that the body is much more miraculous than a man-made machine. Here is my vision of the relationship between food and our body for your consideration. Plant-based food, meaning fruit and veggies and whole grains, beans and peas and nuts and seeds, contain the mystery of life. So too do animal-based foods, which include fish and poultry and meat and dairy. And so too do we human beings. At the same time, plant-based food, animal-based food, and we human beings all need the same elements to thrive, such as air, earth, light from the sun, and water. Here's where the deep change in thinking about food in our body comes in. Thriving and living, indeed life itself, depends on our becoming one with food and it with us. In other words, the relationship between food, eating, and the body is the mystery of life itself. To me, this means our relationship with food is much more meaningful and profound than a fuel machine link. Instead, I personally view food as nourishment and life in the deepest sense of the word. And this makes it second nature for me to appreciate the gift that is food. Moving forward, right now, it's story time. I'm going to tell you a story and then some science about the centuries-old profound role that gratitude plays in food and eating. Then I'll give you some step-by-step guidelines for how to replace food fretting with its antidote, the Whole Person Integrative Eating Guideline, Be Grateful for Food and Its Origins from the Heart. Here's an ancient story that illustrates the integral role that thankfulness for food has played over the centuries. It's a story told to me by Yogi Master Nishtala Devi, and it is a parable from India that suggests an appreciative heart empowers food to open its treasures to you to the degree to which that you are willing to open your heart to the silent message in your meals. Once there was a great man, a saint, who had a devout wife. Early in their married life, she asked what she could do solely for him. He said, "The only thing I want you to do is this. Every time you serve me a meal, also place a small bowl of water and a needle next to it." She honored his request over the 50 years of their marriage, though she never saw him use either the water or the needle. Toward the end of his life, he asked his wife if he had ever done anything to upset her, even in a small way with a small thing. "I've been placing a small bowl of water and a needle next to your plate throughout our marriage," she said, "but I've never seen you use either. What's their purpose?" He explained that he had such a deep appreciation for food and for the devotion with which she prepared it. He didn't want to waste a morsel. Should he drop even a single grain of rice on the table, he wanted to pick it up with the needle and wash it so he could eat it and not waste it. Such deeply felt thankfulness for food and all other gifts bestowed by the creator of the universe is also at the core of the cosmology of Native American nations. For instance, harvest festivals begin and end with prayers of thankfulness for all foods and other elements of nature. Native Americans find themselves not only thankful for food, they're also grateful for the origins of food and the forces that create it. Creator or spirit or great spirit, and the spirit forces or elements of wind, thunder, lake, sun, moon, and the stars are part of Native Americans' cosmology. What makes thankfulness for our other interbeingness with food so powerful is the degree to which we may experience authentic, deep caring about food from the heart, To care about and appreciate food in such a way is inherently what co-founder of Whole Person Integrative Eating and behavioral scientist and my husband Larry Sherwitz refers to as being other-oriented. This means that instead of focusing on your food-related concerns, think food fretting, you're paying attention to the food before you, regarding and appreciating the mystery of life it contains and provides. In other words, you're holding gratefulness in your heart for food and its origins, rather than choosing food solely because they're good for the heart or waistline or mood and so on. When you do, you're focusing on something other than yourself, and focusing on other, such as the food before you, instead of self and food concerns, may actually help your heart health. Here's why I say this. Larry has discovered a powerful new risk factor for heart disease he calls self-involvement, measured by excessive use of the pronouns I, me, my, and mine. While many well-known lifestyle elements you're familiar with, I'm sure, such as diet and exercise and stress management and social support and restorative sleep, play key roles in preventing or conversely contributing to heart disease, when Larry counted how often 600 men in taped interviews used the first person pronouns, I, me, my, and my, to open-ended questions, the men who used the most self-references were the men who were more likely to develop heart disease. His breakthrough findings highlight self-involvement as a possible underpinning of heart disease. Why is this so? Apparently, self-involvement may increase the odds of an ongoing cascade of certain chemicals that profoundly affect heart health. As a matter of fact, these naturally occurring toxic chemicals affect every system in the body as well as our emotional, spiritual, and social well-being. Conversely, this suggests that the health-enhancing phenomena of other awareness, including, of course, awareness of the food before you, may contribute to keeping your heart healthy and balance emotions and chemicals that our body naturally produces. This also suggests that eating with what Buddhists call, quote, a gladdening of the heart, may mean you are doing more than simply appreciating food. You're turning a self-involved, isolated self, a heart apart, into a self that is filled with healing connection. As a matter of fact, intriguing research by the Heart Math Institute in Boulder Creek, California, supports this idea. Since 1991, the opposite of a self-involved heart, an appreciative, loving heart, has been the focus of research at HeartMath, says founder Doc Lou Childra and executive consultant Howard Martin, quote, when heart intelligence, a term that describes the concept that the heart is an intelligent system with the ability to balance our emotional and mental systems, when the heart is engaged with positive emotions, it can lower blood pressure, improve the nervous system, balance hormones, facilitate brain function, and more. As a matter of fact, HeartMath researchers over the last 25 plus years have also discovered that the heart's magnetic field, the magnetic influence of electrical currents, radiates outside the body, outside the heart, and can affect other people. This means that when your heart is filled with loving gratitude, those feelings affect the body's electromagnetic field, causing it to extend 3 or more feet from the body. For me, Such findings also bring up the possibility that a heartfelt electromagnetic field infused with gratitude may somehow be infused into the meal before you. What else? Bringing an appreciative consciousness to meals also brings up the possibility that if you flavor your meals with other-oriented appreciation, and you spice meals with heartfelt blessings and infuse both yourself and the food before you with gratitude, you're choosing the whole person integrative eating antidote to food fretting, meaning you are appreciating food and its origins from the heart instead of being in your head food fretting and the overeating style and its family members of dieting and obsessing about food and weight and the best way to eat. In other words, when you cherish food and all aspects of the eating experience, you may also find that the healing, magical mystery of gratefulness will work through you and enhance physical and mental well-being. And based on Larry's and my research on whole person integrative eating, it may also lead to eating less and weighing less without dieting. And there's this. For me, eating with an appreciative heart leads to enjoying and savoring my meals, actually to delighting in the whole dining experience. There is a lot you can do to overcome food fretting and food-related anxieties, self-recrimination, judgment, and guilt, and instead enjoy your meals. Here are 3 ideas for you to consider as a starting point to letting go of some new normal food fretting think. Number 1, stop dieting. One consequence of ongoing dieting can be increased obsession about food, eating, and weight. As a matter of fact, more and more research is linking traditional dieting with increased risk of weight gain. And a well-known study of 4 popular diets showed that over time there was virtually no weight loss difference, regardless of the diet. You've heard it before, diets don't work. Number 2, don't count calories compulsively. Traditional diets that ask you to restrict calories and to eat by the numbers, I call counting calories, fat grams, and so on, eating by number. This doesn't work for the long term. Counting calories by itself is not a problem. A compulsive and obsessive attitude about calories is. Instead, consider this. In place of staying lost in a maze of measurements, nutrients, and numbers, focus on fresh whole foods. Please see episode 9 and 10 for more about what to eat for weight loss and well-being. Focus on delicious flavors, the profound pleasure of eating, and the delight you take in dining with others. In other words, bring heartfelt appreciation to all aspects of the dining experience. Number 3, food fretting antidote. Change your perspective by considering this. From the perspective of the whole person integrative eating dietary lifestyle, food in itself is not, quote, sinful, quote, good, quote, bad, quote, right, quote, wrong, unless you're projecting moral attributes into it and onto yourself. Nor, in my opinion, is food something to be counted, feared, and analyzed. In other words, I'm suggesting that instead of viewing food through the lens of today's new normal of judgment, relate to it as an expression of the ancient meaning of the word diet, through the lens of whole person integrative eating, as a gift that can enhance your physical, emotional, spiritual, and social well-being each time you eat. Here's the bottom line. Ultimately, the key to successfully overcoming the food fretting overeating style and often being filled with obsessive, judgment-filled, food-threatening thoughts about the best way to eat, dieting, calorie counting, and anxiety-related overeating, is to create a positive, pleasure-filled relationship to food and eating by giving food non-judgmental, heartfelt attention, bringing an appreciative consciousness to the experience of food and eating, and gladdening the heart, as Buddhists say, with gratitude each time you eat, may help you replace food fretting with the experience of actually enjoying food and reducing the odds of overeating and overweight. To help you get started, here are some prayers and blessings you can say over food. Some are ancient blessings over food that may serve to transcend the cycle of food fretting and dieting and obsessing about food and weight by replacing food fretting with an attitude of gratitude. So you can reap the rewards of what you discover in each episode. The Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. I close each episode with an in-action idea for you to try. This may be a quick tip about how to implement the healing secret of food we just discussed, or a practical step you can take, such as ordering a size down of your favorite coffee concoction, or perhaps I'll suggest a self-insight exercise, an internal reflection that can lead you closer to achieving your food-related health goals. I'll offer an in-action exercise at the end of each episode that can contribute to your transformation from today's new normal way of eating, which leads to overeating and overweight, to whole person integrative eating, which I describe as your scientifically sound personal guide to eating less and weighing less without dieting. Consider keeping a Healing Secrets of Food Revealed journal to write about your experience with each in-action exercise. Today's in-action practical step is twofold. Practical step number 1, read and consider and reflect on the Whole Person Integrative Eating Appreciate Food Guideline. Be grateful for food and its origins from the heart. Practical step number 2, food blessings. Over the centuries, heartfelt blessings, prayers, or simple moments of quiet contemplation have become humankind's ritualized ways of expressing gratitude for the life-sustaining nourishment food provides. These expressions of gratitude evolved as thanks not only for the measurable and visible, but also for the invisible, immeasurable, alchemical, life-giving, and life-containing mystery of life inherent in food. Opportunities to bless food can be found endlessly in everyday life, whether you begin the day with a cup of coffee or a bowl of whole grain cereal, whether you eat lasagna warmed in a microwave oven at work, or snack on an apple or your favorite ice cream. Each time you're around food, you have the opportunity to appreciate it. To begin, even if it's for a nanosecond, let go of worries, thoughts, plans, and so on. Then, inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly, invoke a feeling of heartfelt regard for your food and say a blessing. Here are some options. Number 1, shoot an arrow prayer. If you must eat quickly because of time constraints, consider shooting a prayer of gratitude at your food with the simple Native American Seneca greeting, "Thank you for being." Number 2, this is a Zen blessing from Thich Nhat Hanh. In this plate of food, I see the entire universe supporting my existence. Number 3, from soul food restaurateur Pamela Strobel. We are grateful for the triumph of soul food, Black folk cooking. Spiced with spirit and served from the heart, it transforms body and soul and helps spirit to soar. Here's another option. Please visit healingsecretspodcast.com, where you'll find episode 13, Mindfulness Eating in Action, the WPIE Guided Meal Meditation. Then listen to this free audio I created for you, which guides you through eating with gratitude and all the other elements of my Whole Person Integrative Eating program that lead to eating less and weighing less without dieting. If you would like a summary of today's in-action exercise, please visit healingsecretspodcast.com. Then look for the yellow light bulb next to the in-action CTA. At healingsecretspodcast.com, you can also listen to this episode again and read the transcript and my article about the WPIE Mindfulness Meal Meditation. And please consider joining the Healing Secrets Podcast community, where I'm looking forward to meeting you. I want to thank you for joining me today on the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. With each show, I'll share step-by-step, science-backed insights you need to nourish all of you, body, mind, soul, and social well-being each time you eat so you can thrive. I'm Deborah Keston, host of the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. Until next week, be nourished.